Good morning. Let me check the YouTube live stream. Yep, that's running. Perfect. Do we get an image? I don't know. Doesn't look like it. Let me check that. Something's not working with OBS. Let me see and make sure. Share. Ah, there we go. So we have an image. Perfect. Good morning, good morning, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Let's go back to our 1 minute time frame here. We caught that during the London live stream early this morning. That's all done. The buy side liquidity at the London session high has been taken. We saw a high of the day reversal. Bum, bum. We have the New York midnight level. We have news coming in a couple of minutes, so we will see how that plays out. I just picked up a few more good morning Web, a few more 100k static accounts. I'm going to try them out. I personally never used them, and yesterday I passed this new 50k account within less than 30 minutes just by trading. I don't know. And the Apex livestream account is up $100 today from the London session livestream. The take profit trader account is up. So yeah, for me Friday is all about capital preservation, not generation. We have enough time to do that throughout the week, generating capital, in my opinion. So really, yeah, I think today you won't see me taking too many trades, except if we get a nice and clear 2022 model, then I would consider it. The XY has been on a massive run. We have buy side liquidity above here. Get rid of that, get rid of that. That was yesterday's New York midnight level. We took that sell side. We have sell side below here. All the drawings from yesterday's live stream. Gonna clean them up here. We took this buy side. And we took this buy side liquidity. We are inside this bearish fair value gap up here. Keeping an eye on that, especially because we are going to head into the news that we get today. Okay, that's done. Where's the New York midnight level? New York midnight is right here. We can see that the XY is retracing further. That's why we would expect the ES simply to continue. We headed into a 5-minute bearish fair value gap. The time is 8:21, so we have 9 more minutes until news here. We have SMT divergence. No, we do not. Sorry, that was a little while ago. So let's see. Yesterday I had a little bit of fun trading my Apex funded account. I bought it because I kind of was a bit bored and wanted to see what I can do if I don't restrict myself. And if we take a look at it right here on our Discord server, if you haven't joined that yet, make sure you do. I post lots of good stuff there. Been streaming London and New York live the last couple of days. Right here. A lot of executions, yes, but I just stacked positions and took profits every 0.5 to 1 point. Continued lower, and with that last little, I was short like $25 of passing the challenge. And yeah, with that last little scalp to the upside, starting here, I managed to get above 3k, 6% profit target. This was just for fun, and I wouldn't recommend you to do the same thing unless you have spare $18 and you don't really care about it. Could go either way. And yeah, so this was yesterday. Today I took another trade. I think I ended up losing on that one. Just to make sure I get the trading days in. Right here we have my trader weight. On my London account, we are up $100 from this morning's live stream. And on the account that I passed yesterday, within 30 minutes, I made a loss of $81. Price was a little bit too volatile. I just entered with the intention of closing right away, so it counts as a trading day. Now I'm at 53.012. Should still be fine, good enough to pass the challenge, and I just need 5 more trading days. So next week, Friday, this will be a new funded account, luckily. For today's live stream, we will see what we're gonna do. DXY keeps on retracing. I picked up a Apex static challenge. I want to see how that one goes. The profit target here is, let me pull that up here quickly. ApexTraderFunding.com. Not looking forward to take a pre-news trade. I think we would be rushing if we were to do that. So if you want to start, get started with futures, Apex is a really cool firm with a 90% discount right now. So getting these challenges is really cheap. And if you want to support the stream as well, then you can use the affiliate links in the description box below. That really helps, me to keep streaming for free on YouTube. Otherwise I will have to move to Discord only. But yeah, today I purchased the 100k static account. I think it costed $15. You have a profit goal of $2,000 and a $625 maximum drawdown. It's a little bit harder, but at least it's not trailing. So yeah, I really want to test that out. The trailing threshold, so once you're in profit, your total drawdown is increasing and it's not moving up with you. That's really cool. I've never traded these 100k static accounts. I so far only traded the 50k fulls here with the trader weight plan. You have to make sure that if you want to trade on TradingView, you select the trader weight Ninja Trader plan and use the code SAVE90 at the checkout. And if you want to go with a different firm, my second best pick would be, right now at least, Take Profit Trader, where you currently get a 40% off discount, and the most important thing, you don't have to pay an activation fee once you are funded, and you can withdraw on a daily basis. So that's really cool. Withdraw on a daily basis with Take Profit Trader, not having to pay a pro account fee, because with Apex you have to pay $150 with every account that you pass. All right, let's open up Discord. Good morning, Kuch. Or good afternoon. Freshkey. That's the funded account. I won't touch that anymore today. That's the London session account, and that's the new static challenge. We will get some news in events. Let me turn it on. Latest news and mines. Okay. No, it doesn't show me, but we have some high impact news. The core PCE price index at 830. We're inside a 5-minute fair value gap. We've been selling off right after London kills on close, basically. It's healthy to expect some sort of a retracement. We will see what the market is up to after the news. And what we want to do. DXY keeps on retracing, has been pretty bullish. Let's check out the hourly time frame. And get rid of some of these drawings here because that's gonna get too messy. Bum, bum, bum. New York midnight. Today is Friday. It should be more about capital preservation than anything else. Not really trying to force something today. Previous day's high and old new day opening gap, but I'm gonna get rid of that. New day opening gap from today. We filled that in now. And we have our previous day slowdown here. News coming in a couple of minutes. Okay, let's get rid of this one right here. Asia buy side liquidity has been taken, but we do not need to see that. We have daily sell side liquidity below us right here, and we fell short of that, which leads me to believe that we might want to continue lower. Sell side. And that's just below our previous day's low. And if we now go back to the 1 hour time frame and turn on our standard deviations for today, we can see that that negative 0.5 hasn't been reached, and it's perfectly matching up with that daily sell side and the previous day's low, which leads me to a short bias for right now. If we look at our current daily range, we have 1 more minute left before we get news. Yeah. Or 15 seconds to be exact. So we're gonna watch it on a 1 minute time frame. Asia sell side liquidity. This is our current buy side liquidity for the London session. And news candle. And that rips. Back in the new day opening gap. Now we have the 8:30 opening level to go on our chart. Go to the 5 minute. Five-minute bearish inefficiencies. 5-minute bullish. This is our current high of the day. London buy side. London BSO high. Make that a size 12 and put it to the right. We have our low. Put that on the bottom. New day opening gap. That should be clear. We have sell side below this low. And also below this low before we reach our previous day's low. So order liquidity. Major one for me for now is mapped out. Let's do this. Get rid of this line here. So everything's nice and clean. If we measure from our current high of the day to our low of the day, the 50% would come in right here. So maybe a retracement to the VWAP could be plausible. We just filled this lowest 5-minute fair value gap here from the move to the upside. We're locked into number 18 just after the news. Unfortunate. We filled that 1 minute bullish fair value gap paired with the new day opening gap down here after, come on, go away. There we go. After shifting structure, I'll use this as my structure shift really here. We could also use this low if we would want to. There we continue. We're back above the 830 opening. We have buy side liquidity resting above all these highs, but I think for now it's safer to watch it on the higher time frame. This is today's PD array for the daily range PD array. So we hit buy side above the 50%. We hit the VWAP and we rejected. Question is if we want to go back above the high. We will see. 1 minute time frame. Rejected from the VWAP. But like I said, for now we're gonna do nothing at all. Maybe on that static account, because I just want to see what it's like. Tested the VWAP. And if you guys have any questions regarding Apex or any prop firms, feel free to ask me. And make sure to give the live stream a like so more people will see it on their timelines. It would really help the stream to get more views. Open up Discord. The DXY pulled back inside the bearish fair value gap here on the 15. We already mapped all that out. Buy side liquidity above here. Nah. Good. And of course it opened up. Quit. Thanks. So we came closer to the VWAP. I really want to see what we do around our baseline. Did anyone who's watching the London session live stream right now on YouTube also joined me or also watched the London session live stream this morning? Alright, we keep on hitting the VWAP and reject. We took buy side above the 50%. We did not hit this unfilled volume imbalance. But nothing to base our trades on just yet. Other than a gut feeling. Let's see what we do inside this bullish fair value gap. If we continue to hold it, we're just around the 50% level. So nothing's really certain, at least at this point. Could go higher, could go lower. Let's take a look at NQ over here. NQ also filled on its run to the upside. What's the time? It's 8:36. Let's see if we can get up to the midnight level with that static account, continuing the bullish momentum from the 8:30 open. Not taking those trades on any of the accounts that I have made profit today already or already passed. I want to see what the static accounts are going to be like. Maybe I'm going to get a couple more of them if I like it. I have $625 maximum drawdown. So a 5-point stop would be it for me on this trade. So one stop for a 4.5-point target up to the New York midnight level. I would not recommend anyone to take this trade. It's just me practicing and playing with these Apex accounts for right now at least. Overall, my bias is still bearish for the short term. No, I'd say medium to long term bearish. Let's see what we do with these fair value gaps. If we start to close below the first one right here, I'm going to cancel the short. One, two. We close below, but we open with a bullish volume imbalance. So I'm considering letting it play. At least for now. Yeah, down here. No, I didn't. I'm so far pretty happy with the profits I made today. I just signed up for a 100k static account. Curious of how the static account is different. I mean, yeah, the trailing drawdown is gone and you only have $625 of total drawdown. Okay, we got stopped on that one after touching the VWAP. That's what we like to see. Let's see how this candle is closing. We're back below the 830. I do not really care if I blow that account. That's why you see me taking trades without many precautions. I wouldn't do that on the other account, so bearish unicorn on 15. We hit the breaker block, that's for sure. Higher highs. We broke the low. Got our pullback above the 50%, hitting the VWAP. Could be, yes. This is our main target for today. Previous day's low. Daily sell side that we fell short of yesterday. But yeah, one tick. Pulled back inside of the range. Bearish volume imbalance, that's nice to see. And that's the reason why I have the VWAP on my chart. It's just a great tool to use. I anticipated that we might continue higher on it, hence the entry long. DXY is pushing back up. Let's take a look at NQ. NQ looking similarly bearish. Pump and dump. Take buy side above the 50% to finish filling the new day opening gap. We will see. So from this entry right here, a 5-point. Let's see what we can do with this static account. If we blow it, so be it. $15 is not the end of the world. I just wanted to test if it's worth it signing up for these 50k accounts, 100k static accounts with a $625 drawdown. Could be. And we're pushing back up. I would like this area to actually be respected for us to continue lower, and ideally a close below the 830 opening level. After closing below it, leaving behind inefficiencies, having them filled. Let's see how this candle is going to close. Right on the 830 level, we have a unfilled volume imbalance, so we should continue to gravitate towards that, trying to fill it sooner or later. DXY, yeah, not really helpful. Like today during the London session, we consolidated for ages. Then we had to relieve, we consolidated. And then, yeah, out of the blue, we got this shoot up. Order block right here with a bullish fair value gap, but not really what I enjoy to trade. Let's see. We keep on pushing higher. We closed back above all this, so I'm gonna get out of that initial position and see if we want to continue a bit higher. We could also just consolidate here. I don't like that we closed back above this area. If we still continue to go lower from here, could always add. We also closed back above the 830. Let's see. Okay, that goes quickly, 625. But it's also me just clicking buttons. So we hit that highest bearish 1 minute fair value gap. Check out the 5. Not really certain here just yet. Wick to the downsides. If we close above that, I will cancel last position, and then I think we would have almost hit the maximum drawdown. Maybe it's more adequate to do this with micros, and also when market conditions are a little bit better, not just after we hit 830 news. Testing the luck basically right now. So let's see, what do we do in this bearish fair value gap up there? Will we close above it, or will we keep holding? A bullish volume imbalance would be something I would not like to see up there. 2, 1. Okay, we do not get one. So it's either going to be quick $15 for Apex, blowing this account. 625 should mean I should get stopped out at 99 for... No. 7 for... No, okay, and I still have $100 left. If we close above this 1 minute, I'm gonna get out of this position. Looks like we're gonna. Still 15 seconds to go. See when I get stopped here. $6.25. Okay, so roughly $50 of drawdown left. So we invalidated all these bullish fair value gaps. Let's see if we would like, or the bearish fair value gaps. Let's see if we want to use them as support. As you can see, this is not really trading. This is just guessing, gut feeling, gambling. Not even gut feeling. Testing out these 100k static accounts because the profit target is sitting at 2%, but you are only able to lose 0.65%, yeah, which doesn't really, I say a lot of room to play. It depends on your hit rate. If you have a very high win rate on your strategy, then yes, it might actually be the account size for you, the static account. And once you're in profit, you also have more room to play. You can only use 2 mini contracts. Okay, we can see that the XY is selling off, so we could maybe see the continuation up. Let's see if we get it before we get stopped out. And if that account is done, I will wait until the 9:30 opening to maybe take a trade on my funded or the challenges that I do not just trade like this basically. But in a tape reading sense, inversion fair value gap, we're inside of that right now, paired with a bullish fair value gap right here. These old bullish ones can pretty much be neglected. Got back close to the VWAP again, but now we're just moving sideways. We would like to see a 2022 model maybe. That's what I'm looking for the other accounts. If I don't see one by 10, I will likely just end the trading day. It's Friday. I made my profit for the week. I'm happy with that. If I do not get one, I start enjoying the weekend a little bit earlier. DXY keeps on selling off and we're testing the VWAP. We open with a bullish volume imbalance, so we want to see what we're going to do around these levels. We took out this high after retracing. Are we going to immediately revert back to the lows now? We will see. Where are my shoes there? Looks like it. We immediately rebalanced this bullish candle and started to retrace after taking buy side, filling in this bearish volume imbalance. Shenanigans around the VWAP is what I call it. But the DXY, sort of a 2022 model in itself. Maybe if we go to the 1 hour time frame, we shift structure, we retrace up high, and based on that, I don't know, depends on how correlated they are today. We will see. Do you see that? Once we take that buy side, we immediately revert. So let's try it last time. Could be wrong and we still hold support. Okay, account is gone. Enough shenanigans for the trading day. Yeah, I think for me personally, don't really think it's worth it. Maybe if you take super small scalps, a static account could be interesting. Yeah, we will see. I will have to think about that. We have SMT divergence. Maybe at the lows, and we immediately push back up. Could have stayed in the long. Alright. done. This one is passed, and this one is at 51,800. Back above the VWAP. Should really see that. No, well, don't want to say anything. This is just messy. Yeah, up until 9:30, I'm not really keen on taking anything anymore right now. Let's just let the news play out. How you take losses, drawdown, they hurt you. Not anymore. They maybe have used to at the beginning, especially with the challenges. Losing a challenge felt like the end of the world, but it's really not. And yeah, I don't know, you just get over it after a certain amount or a certain time, I'd say. So yeah, not really. I bought that challenge for, don't want to say the fun. It was to test. It's $15. That's all covered by the profits and all the payouts. Look at the DXY here. DXY nuked. So we could really see, yes, expanding up higher today. Not worth an entry to me, even if I'm watching it to go up. Because now I don't have this little fun account going on, where I tested a static account. I think I will stick to the regular trader weight accounts, 50k challenges. We see we would be in profit now after we entered on this bullish fair value gap paired with the inversion. On the other accounts, yeah, I would worry a little bit more. Midnight level would be the next target. Let's check out the NQ. Yeah, really, I'd see no reason why we wouldn't take out the London buy side. We filled in the entire new day opening gap. Presented a model. We filled the lowest fair value gap by 1 tick. And we continued higher from there. Initially, right after the 8:30 news, we had a pullback, but eventually continued up higher. The DXY dropped significantly from our lower time frame fair value gap right here. We're back below the midnight. Likely looking forward to target this. Pump and dump. New volume imbalance, a good sign for bullish order flow. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame. It's a little bit more calming. Buy side above here, and we have a 5-minute bearish fair value gap right up here. That's our new day opening gap. That's Asia buy side liquidity. And once again, we reject. That's our highest 5-minute bearish fair value gap before we take out the PM session high here. We closed above this one, but we managed to get rejected from it. Let's check the 15. Nope, nothing on the 15. Don't really like that close above. So not gonna be keeping it on my chart. We didn't hit the midnight level and we strongly rejected. Once again, the DXY, very volatile. Now rejected as well after taking, did it? Nah, come on. Perfect equal lows. This could be a potential shift in market structure or just a stop hunt to continue up higher. Like said, I will wait for the New York Open to consider before I consider taking any trades on the challenges that I play properly. The account number 16 is the challenge that we started on Tuesday during New York's live stream. Right now it's up almost 2k out of the 3k target. And then on this account I have the other 53 Apex. I passed that yesterday. And this is a static challenge where you have $625 drawdown with a 2k profit target. I don't really think it's easier if we look at the drawdown to take profit or the challenge profit ratio, in my opinion, because you have a, let's see, a 2% target. 2% target relative to the account balance and a 0.625% drawdown. And if we divide 2% divided by 0.625, we have a ratio of 3.2 drawdown to take profit. And if we look at the regular challenge, which is a 6% target with a 5% trailing drawdown, we end up at a ratio 5 divided by 6 of 0.83. And if we take a look at the 100k account, on the 100k accounts you have a target of, let me check here quickly, Apex Trader Funding. It's similar to all the other ones, but they do have that 90% discount. The 100k accounts have a profit target of 6% as well. 106 is your profit goal, and you have a 3%, 5.5. No, relative to the account balance, a 3% threshold that's trailing with your unrealized gains throughout the day, which ends up at a 2. 6 divided by 3, 2. So if we compare that and to say which challenge is the easiest to pass, I think it's obvious. For a Apex Trader Funding account, it really is the Apex 50 account challenge, a 50k account, the regular one. If you want to sign up for one while they still have the 90% discount for the next 11 days, I'd appreciate if you use the referral links in the description. That really helps supporting the free live stream. Trader Weight Plan, 50k account. Really the 25k account is the easiest one to pass because you have a profit goal of 1.5 and a trailing threshold of 1.5. And if we move on to the 50k, you have a profit goal that's twice as big, but you also get $1,000 more of a trailing threshold with twice the account size. But the higher we go, the more we see that, okay, here we have a 100k account, but now we only have, relatively speaking, a 3% trailing threshold of our entire account balance, while our profit goal is 6%. Pretty tough. It's trailing, it's one step, so yeah, doable. But comparing them all like this, we can see that even the regular 100k challenge, according to the profit target to drawdown ratio, is smaller than for the static account. Much smaller. 2 versus 3.2 versus 0.83 for the account sizes that I always go for. That one is done, and now we're here. Like we spoke about, this had the potential to become a market structure shift, but instead, what did we do? we only swept this low. We didn't close below it, and we immediately pushed back up. Bullish volume imbalance, close above the VWAP, not really respecting any of the bearish fair value gaps. Now they have turned into a inversion fair value gap. We would expect support from here to maybe deliver higher towards the New York midnight level. News on your chart notifications. And that's exactly where we hold from to continue higher. Maybe, yeah, I don't know, 2% profit target is kind of nice, but you're really restricted with that. Less than 1% drawdown. I'd say for a 100k account, it's better to use micros, really, if you want to go for that account. I mean, with 90% off, doesn't really hurt. Scaling drawdown, there is. So Apex has different accounts. They have a static account and a trailing threshold account. So the ones that you usually see me trade all the time, those are the trailing drawdown accounts, the regular ones. And then they also have the option for a 100k static account where you are able to risk. Let me show it again. Where you're able to lose $625 total drawdown. So once you made profit and you're above your 100k balance, yeah, the $625 doesn't move up with your account balance. It's locked in at, I mean, we can look it up since I just blew this one here. 18, 19, 99,372. Pretty much locked in at 99,375. Looks easier initially. Really depends on your strategy, I would say. If you have a high success rate strategy, we eventually got these equal lows, gave it away, took them out, rejected initially, but immediately continued to sell off through them. Yeah, what I was saying is that, yeah, if you have a high hit rate strategy where you don't suffer long periods of drawdown, then yes, that 100k account, the static account, would be really the thing to go for you. But 5 points on minis is already 250 bucks, so you're able to lose less than 15 points in max drawdown from the beginning. So once you pass the challenge, you start again on your funded account then, and then I assume you have to go above $625 to get a payout. Not really sure how that works, that's why I wanted to try it. But I personally do prefer the regular accounts. It's 9:05, we had a new hourly opening right here. It's likely also where we saw that continuation lower. Let me check out their FAQ. So I'm not gonna take any trades before the New York Open, so might be worth that. Static. Does not trail the trading threshold. Full accounts do trail the trading threshold. Full accounts have larger contracts, allowing for a larger stop. Yeah, or you simply use micros if you are a fan of doing that. Why would I want to trade multiple evaluation accounts? Nope. Well, I already knew that. I want to see what... Let's check payout. How do payouts work? That's regular for the full accounts. 100k static account. 1000. Okay. So I think we got the answer. On a 100k static account, So once you pass the account and you make $2,000 in profit with $625 in drawdown, before you can request a payout with Apex, you have to get above the threshold of 100 to 6,000. So basically, challenge number 2. If you've been in the CFD prop firm challenges game before, they most of the time have a 2-step challenge system. Right here with Apex, it looks like there's only 1 step, but in the end of the day, let's say you pass the 50k account, you still have to get up to 52,600 in order to request your payout. That's really what I like about Take Profit Trader. If we take a look at Take Profit Trader, why is it always logging me in? We can see that they also have a 1-step challenge compared to Apex, same thing. Also only 1 challenge you have to pass with a intraday trailing threshold, while the Take Profit Trader account is based on a end of day calculation, at least for the challenge. After the challenge, you are having the same intraday trading drawdown that you have with Apex, but the cool thing is that you have a zero minimum days. Once you're funded, you pass the 50k account. Make it simple. Right now with the current promotion, you do not have to pay pro account fees. With Apex, you do. Where's that activation fee? If we search for that, if you pass an Apex account, you are asked to pay the activation fee for a 50k account. That's $140. So really, if you add that up on top of your challenge, it's really not that cheap anymore. And yet you still have to get above the specific 52,600 account balance for the 50k account in order to request your first payout. And then you can only withdraw every 2 weeks. It's possible, definitely. But well, I think their business model is very obvious. At the beginning, initially they sell their challenges really, really cheap with a 90% discount. And towards the end, or once you pass that challenge and you theoretically only pass step 1, you have to pay these $140, and it's increasing the bigger the account size. That's really not cool. That tells you a lot about the business model behind it. Most people go for bigger accounts most of the time with a 90% discount. Then they pass it, maybe because they got lucky. They also don't have that consistency rule on their challenges. But once you're funded and you theoretically in phase 2 or step 2, you still have to reach a specific profit target before you can even request payouts. So for me, that's simply a hidden step. And most of the people that pass the first step, they are failing the second one because now they're trading on a Apex funded account and they struggle with that psychologically. I know that because that used to be me. And yeah, really not that simple. So the business model is obvious. Sell the first step really cheap to have something that your competition doesn't have, and then you pay for the second step, and you're most likely to fail then after having paid the big dollar amount. With Take Profit Trader, what I like about them, why I currently trade a challenge with them, is you also get a discount, 40%. So you end up paying $100 for a 50k challenge. Right down here, you pretty much have the same drawdown to profit target ratio. You have $500 less drawdown, and there's a daily loss limit. But if you don't gamble and you stick to your system, I really don't see a reason why this would be an issue. If you take 1 or 2 trades per day, risking, let's say 0.25% of your equity, and you just keep on doing it consistently, eventually you hit your 3K profit target. And then the major difference comes in. You have passed the funded account, and now you're trading on the pro account. And as long as you sign up until I think the 7th of November, they extended their promotion, you do not have to pay the pro account fees that you still have to pay with Apex. So if you add the initial challenge fee, which is $20, and the fee once you pass the challenge, you end up at $160 spent. While with Take Profit Trader, you end up simply having spent $100 initially. So you pay a little bit more upfront. But the cool thing is once you get funded and you made your first, let's say first trading day, you made $500 in profit, you can withdraw that immediately. Yes, you use parts of your trailing drawdown, but well, everything comes with a specific cost. I mean, they're not just gonna give you free money without you, losing anything. You can reset your funded account as well, but I heard that's a little bit expensive. Usually it's 1% of the account balance. Fees for the pro account is $130. Live support. So yeah, I think that's the major difference between the two my main funded accounts, really. Yeah, so it's worth thinking about it, signing up with one. So in the end of the day, Apex is cheap initially. People buy them like scratching tickets. Like I, for example, bought that 100k static. I'm not an exemption. I just wanted to see what the static account is really like. But yeah, I mean, you saw me executing live right around this area. If you don't stick to a plan or specific rules, you will fail. You might get lucky at the beginning, like if you go to a casino and play roulette or whatever at a slots machine. Everyone can have a lucky streak. But, well, at some point in time that lucky streak is going to end. And you actually end up losing. And if you, let's say, the lucky stream doesn't look like it's ending and you over trade and you over leverage because, oh man, it's working so well, it's keep going up and blah blah blah, until it doesn't. And then most of the time that's when you blow the account because you get overconfident in your luck, basically. You saw it do me doing live with that static account. It's really not worth it. Pick your model, run with it. For me, it's a 2022 reversal setup or the SilverBullet continuation afterwards. But other than that, yeah, it's been going really well on the other accounts. We will see. We will see. So now we took the sell side here on the XY and we close back above the midnight here by a little bit. The time is 9:15, so we get the New York Open in a couple of minutes. Let's see if we have any questions on YouTube. Oh, come on. No, it doesn't look like it. Nope. I guess all of them are safe and sound. If you do have any questions about funded accounts, then feel free to ask me. Spend lots of time doing the research for the prop firm review videos, and yeah, didn't forget it yet. We have equal highs. We didn't touch the midnight level. We kept holding this bullish fair value gap, but yeah, price is really trashy right now. Not really interested. Like I said, sticking to the rules, otherwise it'd be gambling. Yes, you can use fair value gaps in order to frame your model, but well, we did the same thing here, bullish fair value gap. Okay, we continue up from there. Why hasn't it been respected? Blah, blah, blah. Because it's out of context. We are roughly around the 50% of the current dealing range for today, measured from the high to the low. We are around the VWAP where we like to consolidate. For example, here, we're in a sell-off. We took Asia sell side, and within a trend, moving to a specific draw on liquidity, yeah, these fair value gaps are respected, like this one right here, right here. We continue lower, deeper and deeper into the new day opening gap, right here, fair value gaps. Bam, we continue lower from here, or early, right at the end of the London kill zone, 5 a.m. From a new hourly high. We initially hold on this bullish fair value gap until we don't and we close below it. Continue lower, leaving behind that first proper bearish fair value gap after a decent market structure shift. If we look at market structure, we see higher highs and higher lows being put in place. This little low and this one right here is internal. I only look at the higher high and the highest high. So once I think that we formed a intermediate term high right here, I look for the most recent proper high. I look for that low in between. I don't use this one right here. I use this one because this little low is inside this price leg where we moved like this, something like this. So I don't use that. I look for the lowest point between the high where I think, which is going to remain a intermediate term high with the 2022 model. Then I look for the low. We close below, so this would be the model. Right at the high, bearish fair value gap. We keep going into it again. And from here on delivered lower all the way down into Asia sell side liquidity. And that's when you know the change in the state of delivery has been put in place. Trying to gamble around this area will just end in blowing up your account. I prefer trading at the extremes, so meaning at the high of the day. We open up the daily candle right here. We moved up higher and higher and higher, and at the high we get our reversal set up. We take that short and we eventually get rewarded wherever your take profit target would be. Could be simply 5 points, and after 5 points you're done. You got what is yours and you close the charts. If you are more of a higher risk reward target fan, you would enter somewhere right here, place your stop above the high, target the Asia sell side for a 2.69, 10 points. Or if you had a strong bias that we continue lower into the new day opening gap, maybe targeting the consequent encouragement of it, or the 50% level, simply said, even a 4.31 risk reward. We had another little model, 2022 model. If I say model, that's always what I'm referring to. Right here, after we took the SPY side liquidity, we consolidated right here on NQ. It was cleaner because on NQ we actually ended up making a higher high. On ES we didn't. We've left behind equal highs. So we look for the highest point, and on the highest point before that, look for the low, the extreme low that delivered into this high. Right here we close below. This is our market structure shift. We leave behind a fair value gap, and we use that to deliver into sell side liquidity. Could have secured 8 points on that move to the downside. And once again, we see that at the, relatively speaking, high of the current daily candle. I know it's likely not going to remain the high for the entire day. Sometimes it does. I'm not looking forward to catch the high and hold until the low of the day. That's not how it works for me. But every time we get to these extremes and we see the setup, that's when I engage. Same thing down here. I didn't want to engage with the 8:30 news. And we also saw that we have been super bearish. And after being super bearish for a very long time, if we compare that to what we saw earlier this morning, where we've been trending up, but not from the extreme. Right here, we filled the new day opening gap, and we immediately displaced to the upside, continued higher without really filling fair value gaps. Then we were too close to the news. Anyway, at the current low of the day, what did we do? We retraced into, sorry, let me go back to yes. There we go. We retraced back into this bullish 5-minute fair value, 1-minute fair value gap, also a 5-minute fair value gap, and delivered into buy side. Always at the extremes. That's what's most important. And once you catch one of those, make your 5 points or whatever your target is for the day. Yeah, close your charts. For me, it's a little bit harder because because I'm streaming live. Not always that simple, but every time when I continue to trade after I secured what is mine, looking for this specific model, I end up losing all that profit again. And then you lost all that profit. And you're like, shit, I should have just walked away, but I couldn't because I'm kind of addicted. Yeah, well, gotta be honest. And what's the time? 9:25, so 5 more minutes until the New York Open. And then you try to make that profit back with silly trades somewhere inside the range, right around to 50% of the current daily range, being between the 8:30 open, midnight level and the 8:30 open. If we measure from low to high, consolidation, or just choppy market around the 50%, still seemingly continuing to the upside. But I hope you get the idea of what I'm trying to say here. Doesn't matter if you caught this one short for 5 points, if you keep on trading because you are on the winning trade high, like the runner's high or something, and you don't stop, and you go short because we have a fair value gap here, and all you get is chopped up, you lose the profit, that easy profit that was available, and now you're mad, and you keep on going, which doesn't always work. Here, after having this 2022 model to the downside, we had an internal model that played out to deliver back into buy side. We had our break of structure right here, and our bullish fair value gap all the way down here. As we can see on the 1-minute time frame here, we never disrespected it, and we spoke about that during today's London session. I was only considering the 5-minute time frame this morning. I tried to stay away from the 1 minute during the London session as much as I can. We saw the consolidation on the 5. The willingness to continue lower was over once we got this 340 candle and starting to put or leave behind bullish fair value gaps now. We tap into that, keep going sideways until we get the new hourly candle, 4 a.m., push back above the high, and then we had this little 2022 model, but only on a 1 minute time frame. Here on the 5 minute, we also had our market structure shift and we closed, but the fair value gap on the 5 minute up here hasn't been touched afterwards. So it was created right after this candle, and then we just kept on going lower. We pulled back. We didn't hit the breaker block. The breaker block would have been the lowest down closing candle between this low and this high, which on this 5 minute time frame is simple. So you would have set your limit, not knowing what's going on the lower time frame, missing out on the opportunity. So like I said, it's always about your model, about your strategy. If you don't follow that, maybe you get lucky 1 time, 2 times, maybe you have a long streak and you are lucky 10 times, but eventually you're gonna run out of luck. And if you want to take trading seriously, you can't really say, oh, what are you doing for a living? Oh, yeah, I base my yearly income on my luck. Like, come on. Who's doing that? No one. You want to play the probabilities, and that's what's most important. If you don't stick to the plan, you are destined to fail. If you're impatient to pass the challenge, you're destined to fail. If you're impatient for the payout, you're destined to fail. Because impatience will lead to mistakes and silly trades because, yeah, you made your profit, you have nothing else to do, you're bored, you like charts, you keep on framing trades on fair value gaps, blah, 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 you give all the profits away, and you end up in this vicious circle. And it's not a good place to be in. So maybe someone needed to hear that. Some little advice before we head into the New York session. You can see that the XY is now below the sell side liquidity. Pump and dump. Let's see what the New York Open will do in 20 seconds. And like we spoke about, since we're not at the extremes, I'm not looking forward to trade in here. We could go either long or short. We're at the 50% levels of the daily range measured from the high. Emerson gains pumped the stocks. Interesting. We're around to 50%. And now tell me, long, short, like, you could find 100 arguments for it to go short and 200 to go long. And yeah, going long, is that a bet or are you actually long? Fresky. Let's see, we will watch it. We are logged in on our live stream account. Betting, yeah. Yeah, Fresky and I trade very similarly. If we're inside the current daily range, it's just messy. Like we spoke about over the last 20 minutes, you want to catch the reversals at the extremes. High of the day, 1 minute market structure shift, we spoke about that. We had one here after we left behind the high of the day. We had one down here with the 830 retracement into it. We're at the high, we're at the low. If we're inside, yeah, you could still get a fractal model, but it's inside. I'd say the probability is lower because we like to move from external liquidity, like a session sell side liquidity, back into internal liquidity. And from internal liquidity, if the trend remains, we move to external liquidity. Consolidate, displace at the high, bearish fair value gap, and we move back into internal liquidity. The trend, or at this point in time, wasn't strong enough. We had some sort of a London Judah swing and moved to the upside. And we looked at it on the 1 minute time frame. Yeah, at 8:30 we had a 2022 model also right here, but is this at the extreme? The low of the day is right here, or right here, depending if you look at session sell side liquidity. We didn't take that. If we would have taken that Asia sell side, I would have been long, no questions asked. But since we didn't, I didn't execute. And then, once again, we are at the, don't get confused by this wick, this is just a drawing of mine. Lefties equal highs, we ran them out. And then up here, if we look right after that London kill zone, if you have a little timing window and you do not trade like I do after London kill zone, you wouldn't have taken that short. But right here we can see it very obviously. We are in an uptrend. We make higher highs and higher lows. We take out the current high of the day. We have one last move to the downside before we move above this high. And right now we either could make a higher low and continue higher, but right here we already failed that and we didn't continue higher. Instead, we broke lower below this potential higher low, closed below this swing point right here, leaving behind a bearish fair value gap. And because we had the extremes, what did we do? Sold off. And then down here, after selling off for so long, filling in almost the entire new day opening gap, we retraced into the fair value gap and well. And if you're asking what I'm looking for today, my bias for today is short. We have this daily sell side liquidity that we fell short of yesterday by one simple tick. We have the previous day's low here. We have a negative 0.5 standard deviation around this level. We didn't hit the positive 0.5. We will see. But I think we're gonna get down till here, finish off the week, maybe retrace a little bit lower. That's our next daily sell side target. And then maybe form a thank God it's Friday setup. Who knows? I don't. Pick your model and run with it. Equal highs, midnight level, hovering around the 830. Not really ideal, not really what I would like to see. Let's see if we have any questions on YouTube. Nope. Consolidation around the VBOB. And how does price move? Been talking about that a lot recently. We formed the daily range. We are at the extreme. We get our reversal pullback to where? 50%. Buy side above the 50% if our bias is bearish for the day. We took out this buy side and this buy side up here. And from here on, after taking external, we move back into internal liquidity. Inside the current daily range, we expand it lower. We pull back inside, eventually to simply continue lower and target what we were looking forward to target. Freshky, I'm sorry, your bet lost. I will send my cash collectors in a couple of minutes. If you want to keep your kneecaps, make sure to pay. No, I'm still gonna wait for something clean. The DXY keeps on selling off. We should see the euro pump. Let's see, 6E1 futures. Equal lows here. DXY keeps on going lower. That's the only thing that's going against my bearish bias right now. Tired after this week. I've been streaming every day on YouTube. We started our YouTube challenge account on Tuesday. It's up nicely. Only by executing these 2022 models. Sometimes, yes, I get carried away. It's not that simple, but I try my best to not to get carried away, of course. And yeah, simply follow the plan. Look for reversal setups at the extremes. And if you have a high conviction that we're going to reach a specific liquidity point, like for example, yesterday during the PM session, this is a very good example on a 1 minute time frame. Lunch hour was over, 1 p.m. We take out the sell side, we form a low and a lower low. We break this high, this lower high. We have our market structure shift and our breaker block on that same candle. We retest that candle and we run. If you have a high conviction, like we said, we're at the low of the day. What is price likely going to do? Once again, we measure high of the day, low of the day. 50% right here, buy side above the 50%, relative equal highs, right up here. So let's say you caught the long and you're content with 10 points. You got in right on the slow on this fair value gap. Your stop loss 10 points, maybe 5 points or something below the slow. Sticking to my rules, stop loss would have been down here. I would have looked to target 15, not really more than that. Maybe a 2-to-1, and that 2-to-1 would have delivered me perfectly towards the 50%. But let's say you're just scalping and you get in here, you get out here, and you wonder where this reversal could potentially go to. The 50% of the current daily range is always a good target. Or you simply use standard deviations. You measure from that last manipulation to the most recent lower high, and you take partials along the way. Sometimes it only runs to the first standard deviation of this last manipulation. Sometimes it runs exactly to the fourth standard deviation. And if you look at this from yesterday, we hit it to the tick. And what did we do afterwards? We displaced, leaving behind fair value gaps, fill them. We also had our 5 minutes shift right here. Fair value gaps continue lower and sell off. That's that price action leg where I passed my Apex 50k accounts 17 in less than 30 minutes. It was good fun. It was worth the risk. I just wanted to see what's possible. Alright, but now let's get back to current price action. DXY is selling off with the indices and picture perfect. We found resistance at the 8:30 opening right here with this little pump to the upside. Our bias is still bearish. Current low of the day is down here. And liquidity, we already mapped that out below this low, and then of course our previous day's low. DXY continuing lower, EU continuing higher. We keep on selling off. We're below the 50% of the new day opening gap. Let's take a look at NQ. Haven't done this morning so far. You can see that NQ, relatively speaking, yes, it's already down here at this low, while the tech stocks are still hovering around the 50%. So we see SMT divergence. Yes, already took out the 830 low and this low, while NQ is still holding up pretty strong. The DXY sold off this Friday, and right now, no, we already closed below that lowest fair value gap. I would take a SMT divergence based reversal setup, but what I want to see here, remember right now we're at the extremes, would like to see some structure instead of a straight sell-off in order to go long for me. So we take the sell side while NQ is leaving it behind. This would be a nice trade for me on ES to go for maybe 10 points or something. But yeah, we need that structure being put in place, or being put in place first. A lower low, a lower high, maybe another lower low, the displacement, the pullback, and the reversal back up. If I don't see that today, you won't see me taking a trade. So now we have equal lows right at the low of the new day opening gap. And market structure wise, I'll shift what happened right up here. We're chilling. I'm quickly going to the bathroom. I will be back in no time. We didn't sweep the low, so nothing to do. All right. So now we're in this bullish fair value gap, but I would really just expect continuation lower. That's what I'm talking about. Putting in those lower lows and lower highs. Take a look at NQ. NQ made a higher high, so that's actually even better for a potential short if we displace now. Because NQ, relatively speaking, is still up high and even took out the London buy side liquidity. So shorts on NQ really look pretty good. We will keep an eye on this. You see that? London session high has been taken. ES is already all the way down here, and now NQ is following. Haha. But without the proper... Oh, come on, headset. Don't make this. Don't do that. Without the market structure shift entry, at least for right now. NQ closed below, ES closed below the bullish fair value gap. Sold off afterwards, like anticipated. NQ looks like it's shifting structure right now. High, low, higher, low, lower, lower. Let's see if we close. We do. That's our breaker block. We would wait for a bearish fair value gap or place it on this bearish fair value gap. If we believe that NQ actually wants to sell off below the London session low. And follow in ES footstep, basically. After having taken that buy side, which, yeah, ES clearly didn't take. I think I will try a short on NQ, to be honest, today. No, not 5. 1. We have the bearish fair value gap. Let's see. And we're already tapped in. Target for me would be the London session low. Is it that? Yep. NQ could also, like always, just be playing with us. Taking lows and highs. We had this bearish fair value gap now, but price is pretty bullish here. Now we have 2 inversion fair value gaps. Here we have a bearish fair value gap. My stop will go at this candle's high. Retesting the inversion. ES is using the bearish fair value gap to continue lower. Just framing a short here on NQ because ES is super bearish. I want to see if NQ can catch up with that. Since it took all the highs, shifted structure. If it cannot, then we just have a big difference between NQ and ES today. bearish fair value gap. We continue lower on ES. While on NQ we disrespect them, now use them as support. Our stop is above this wick's consequent encouragement. We hit the 50%. We do not want to see support from this bullish fair value gap right here now. We want to see the continuation lower, same way as ES is doing it. So basically playing a six sister setup, if you have heard that before from ICT. You can stay under my umbrella. $36 points would that be? We took this low. So really for me, I do not want to see price going back above this high. This would just mean that NQ is super rangy right now. We have a bearish fair value gap right here in the inversion. If we immediately displace this move, I'm gonna close the position. Look at that. Look at the difference that we see right now between ES and NQ. Really not ideal for, really not an ideal trading environment. For right now, DXY is pushing back up, lower, we don't know. Alright, that's it for NQ. We took out this high after taking this low. Those are not the conditions that I want to... Oh, come on! Caught the high for my stop. Super volatile right now while it's consolidating here. For a market structure shift here on ES, we would have to break this high and close above it. I favored NQ here because it's at the high of the day and I wanted to see it, to follow ES to take the sell side liquidity, but NQ is obviously not willing to do that. At least for right now, it could still play out and hold. But after taking the low, sweeping it, immediately reversing back inside of the range, no reason for me to hold up until this high for the model to be invalidated. This would be a long on NQ basically. But I would prefer the long at the low of the day, which it would be on ES here. We do not have the fair value gap yet. But we can see we take lows, we take highs. This is just choppy. No, I was logged in on the wrong account. Challenge that I already passed. That's okay. Nothing major. So let's see, we filled that highest inefficiency. On ES we hit the breaker block. But there's no fair value gap to enter on here on the 1 minute. Fresky, are you gonna enter based on the breaker block right here? Or are you also just waiting because there's no fair value gap? How big would that stop loss be on the breaker entry? 5 points. No, without me. Let's check the 5-minute time frame. And there goes the short on NQ. Maybe. Which count am I on? 16. Maybe now ready to follow. So this would be my re-entry into the 2022 model here on NQ. Could get burned. Yes, took out the low once again. Still pushing lower. Where are we at? This is my buy limit. NQ is really messy here. Yes, took the low one more time. NQ failed to do so once again. This could be that last manipulation. Could be. Or we simply continue to dump. NQ is really not willing here. Right now. NQ, ES keeps on going lower. So good call not entering on this potential reversal. Let's check out the DXY. The DXY is pulling back inside of the range, which could lead to lower prices on our indices. I want to see this low being broken now on NQ. For it to stop bouncing around and for me to move my stop to break even. Yeah, NQ is even moving too quickly here for my trading view PL balance here to update properly. Come on, break, yeah. Break it. Nope. Nope. Bearish fair value gap. Fucking volatile. And we're stopped. Yep, we're stopped. NQ didn't want to continue lower. And like we said, this could be that last manipulation here on ES. And because ES is at the low of the day, I would prefer that model. Got a little bit burned here on NQ, but not too bad. This is this placement we're looking for on ES with fair value gaps now this time. One less manipulation, took out daily sell side liquidity. Market structure shift possibly. NQ is ready to fly, not giving us that low. Let's see, we would have a fair value gap down here, so I'm willing to add a limit down here. I would wait for one more candle. DXY pulled back and rejected lower. That's likely why we saw that push. And if we get a breaker block fair value gap, I would really much like that. If we even get the opportunity here on ES to pull back. Buy side above all the lower highs that we have left behind. Where's my mic? There it is. 12 seconds to go. Alright, we have a bullish fair value gap paired with the breaker block, paired with the new day opening gap. At the low of the day, that's what we would like to see. NQ didn't sweep the high yet. This is a valid 2022 model. This is our breaker block paired with our bullish fair value gaps right here. We could retrace lower if we measure our last manipulation leg to the downside right here. Let's see where standard deviation wise it would take us. Somewhere towards the previous day's high. On this account, I'm just looking forward to make back the loss for the NQ short. We already rejected off the break. I touched it perfectly. But we are at the VWAP once again. We have equal high buy side. And we would target all of these highs as buy side liquidity or potential exit points. And the equal highs up here, which would really be my main target, being honest. Should have waited for the ES1 to form. I usually don't trade in Q. One standard deviation. I'm getting out of this trade. If it wants to retrace, I let it. So this account should be looked after. We're now inside the breaker block paired with this bullish fair value gap. This is the bullish fair value gap. Let me color this in blue. Trading view chart starting to lag. Bullish fair value gap. Freshkey, did you take the long setup on ES? Getting filled now. Ooh, not looking good here. Could have been a fake out to the upside with our overall trend still being bullish. We will see. It always could be both. But we seem to be holding the breaker, at least for right now. Even this entry down here at the slowest fair value gap could have been possible if we look at the potential retracement. We hit the 61.8 and the 50%. We closed right at the 50% of this displacement level. We got close to the optimum trade entry. We want to see this setup develop. DXY keeps on dropping. That's exactly what we would like to see for the continuation up higher here on ES. So now we saw the retracement, touched all the fair value gaps. Now we would like to see the continuation. We do have a bearish fair value gap inside the new day opening gap right here. And we seem to get rejected from that level, open up with a bullish volume imbalance. But if we retrace lower now, wouldn't be in favor of our setup. Let's check out the ICT fib retracement. We almost hit the optimum trade entry here. Missed it by one tick of the displacement. This is the market structure shift level. From external to internal liquidity. Still, we're just a few points away from the previous day's low. So this could also just have been a stop hunt to continue lower, because we can't just go lower forever. We got a relief, tricked enough people into a long to continue lower. We will see. Rejected from the bearish fair value gap. I have a gut feeling that today's, we will see. NQ took out the high, but once again failed to take out the low. Bearish fair value gap right here. But nah, I am not gonna bother looking at NQ. NQ is just in a range. Destroying everyone trying to trade it. All right. So one stop right here at the slow. And another one right here. What? Can't touch what? Can't touch this. No, 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 no. Pretend like it doesn't exist at all. So we have equal highs right here. Nice volume imbalance. Closed inside this bearish fair value gap. Still holding the breaker block. Let me make this clear. Breaker block, bullish fair value gap. Standard deviation, ICT. Last manipulation, 0.5. We already hit that. So let's see, one standard deviation would be 10 points. Midnight level would be my first target for this account. So we took the SPY side. We hit the VWAP. We now want to see the expansion. I'm going to move one stop loss below this low. Here goes our next SPY side target. The other account should be done, I think. Yep, it's back above 53, so that NQ mistake has been deleted. So we hit a 10-point target of our initial entry. Did we? No, we didn't hit yet. But now we got the expansion. Didn't hit a full one standard deviation yet. What's our account balance? Let's keep an eye on that. We have a new bullish fair value gap. Right here and right here, paired with a unfilled volume imbalance, paired with a inversion. Freshkey, are you in on this trade? Since you always take mostly the same trades, you got stopped. Okay. With this retracement, fair enough. 2 times. That sucks. Talk to you later. Bye. So let's see if any of these new fair value gaps are being respected, or if this has been the last stop hunt. And we display slower now. NQ did the same thing, also took out the highs one more time. Want to see support here. This is our new day opening gap, but things are getting a little bit messy, so we took this high and we rejected with a big bearish wick right here. But I want to see support on any of these newly formed bullish fair value gaps paired with the inversion. Let's wait for this candle to close. We have this unfilled volume imbalance right here. We closed right on it, so that's all good. Retouch the breaker block. If we go back above this high, I'm gonna get rid of one contract. Right here we have a balanced price range. Do you see that? We have a bullish fair value gap. It's overlapping with these highs, and now we have a bearish fair value gap at that same level. So ideally getting rejected here is not what we're gonna do. We will see. I think both my stops would be better off right here at this low. Now let's leave one. We want to see this fair value gap to be respected now, big time. 3, 2, 1, and we close inside of it. So we're still hanging in there. We're not relieved yet. We took the SPY side. And we took the SPY side. Could be enough for us to continue lower. We still have the previous day's low here. glad that I secured profits on a funded account, not on a funded account, but you know the account I'm talking about, number 17. Whoa, what? No, it didn't. Come on. Well, today is bad luck Friday for me. Almost like Friday the 13th all over again. Alright, anyway, gonna let this trade play out. Nothing I can do, nothing I want to force here. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. It's part of the game that we play. But this is looking rather bad for the long. Same for NQ. I think it's gonna take out the sell side eventually. And yes, is simply going to continue lower. Well, it was worth a try. It ran a little bit, but not really 10 points. This was our target for the account number 17. We still have this fair value gap here, but I don't really have high hopes. So we got stopped out on our first contract. If we close below this low, and we just touched it. Nope, we didn't close below. But we closed below the breaker block, which is not ideal. Still, the last stop loss is going to be below this low. Same for the 17 account. We've seen scenarios like these before where we try to stop hunt and then still continue up higher. But because we have that previous day's low, if you made profit or you want to get out of this trade, now would be the time to do that. The DXY is pushing back up, which could lead to lower prices on ES and NQ. Let's take a look at NQ here. Yeah, NQ is messy. Now we have equal lows after taking out buy side liquidity. Or after hitting the low, we didn't really take it out. Well, it is what it is. Let's see if we can clear these equal lows. Most important thing that you have to lose about your Apex challenges or your take profit trader challenges is to stop to worry, because if you're worried with your PL blah blah blah, you're always gonna lose. It's as simple as that. Alright, that's nice. That's why we had our stop loss down here. If I see reason enough for this to continue higher, meaning that we close above this bearish value gap, I might add to the position. If not, then I will not. Still have these equal lows here. Unfortunate that I've been stopped out. I should have placed it one tick below. Could be a potential double bottom or a head and shoulders. Like I said, I want to see a close above this bearish value gap where we reacted off bearishly before. Because the short is still in play, this could have just been a little pullback before we actually go lower. Bearish volume imbalance. I think these lows are programmed in now. We reacted off this balanced price range once more. We took out stops. Let's see, price is really volatile right now. If I get stopped out on this trade, that's gonna conclude the live streams for this week. Unfortunately with a kind of bittersweet ending. but that's okay. Trading is not linear. You can't expect to make profits every day. If you expect that, then I don't know, on your losing days you likely end up forcing something which ends to more losses. The DXY, the Euro US dollar, took out the high. No. I would love to just walk away right now, but because I'm streaming live, that's not really possible. Sitting through all this price action is really just a unnecessary strain. Five-minute time frame, super messy. Kind of lost track a little here on the 1 minute time frame looking for the reversal. We filled 5-minute bearish fair value gaps. We should have taken partials here. Unfortunately, we missed that on the account number 17 by a couple of ticks. I don't even want to open in queue right now. But if we fail this 2022 model, like said, our initial statement about that we're gonna hit the previous day's low paired with the negative 0.5 standard deviation was right after all. And we might see the model down here. But right now we filled higher time frame fair value gaps. I don't think, we will see. A setup is a setup. That's why it's good to sometimes leave the chart behind once you got your entry and just let it play out. How long have I been streaming for? 2.5 hours now? Yeah. So this is gonna be the end if we get stopped out here. And Q is pushing back up. Come on, yes, I know you can do it. Time to lean back. Not much more of a commentary I can give. We're in a range, we consolidate. We have too many fair value gaps on our chart for my liking. I think this is the one that has my attention right now. If we recheck from it a third time, yep. That's likely gonna be the last time. Take these equal lows. But yeah, I don't know. I can't tell the future. I execute a model and that's about all. Check out the 15. We had a 15-minute bearish fair value gap here as well. Oh, come on. A little bit carried away here on the 1 minute time frame. Would have been a good area to take profit right at the 9:30 open. Still, we're gonna let it play out. Let's look at some different charts in the meantime. DXY is pushing back inside of the range. That's likely why we struggle so much right here on ES. If we continue to take a look at NQ, yeah, NQ isn't much better today. It's Friday. Could have skipped today, but yeah, well, hindsight. We see the model, we execute. Then Feng Shui's here. It's a bit of a pain, but well, yeah. Fresky, did you enter again? No, yeah, fair enough. I wouldn't do either. If I would have been stopped out already 2 times, if anything, really, I'd look for the short. But we're still on long, and I'm gonna let that play. It's about to hit 10:30 a.m., so we get a new 15-minute candle after this candle, which could offer the momentum to take all the sell side now and maybe deliver into the previous day's low. Maybe. 3, 2, 1. Close below. There goes sell side liquidity, that's it. Now we bounce off it again. That's crazy. NQ is so much worse. Oh. So, yeah, couldn't be further away from each other. ES at the low of the day, NQ at the high of the day. Huh. Which one is right? That's the question. The DXY is pulling back. Come on, would you take these equal lows already? Stop me out. Is now the right time? Yep, we took these equal lows and we might now start either the push back up or my stop loss is going to be hit. This was the last level of defense. Not defense, that's the wrong word. The last sell side liquidity that we hit inside of this entire 2022 model. And nope. Then here's the low of that lowest bullish fair value gap. That's the last level of defense, and my stop is right here at this low. If I'd known how ugly the New York session is going to be, I would have likely stopped after London. But, well, that's hindsight. We execute our model and stay disciplined. DXY is pushing back up. It's likely going to help the ES to hit my stop. Look at NQ. Ugh. Barcoding. We didn't close below these equal lows yet. So something is still holding price. But if we're gonna drop, I think we accelerate very quickly towards that previous day's low. So if you're maybe in a short, counter trading against me, which is fine. I mean, yeah, I sort of missed what's going on in the higher time frames, getting carried away on the 1 minute, which is not ideal, but can happen. I mean, we saw that we had fair value gaps here on the 5. Right here, 2 5-minute bearish fair value gaps, and also on the 15. Never hit the first standard deviation. And afterwards we, started this entire mess. Wick to the downside. Yeah, nah. Pushed back above the 50% after sweeping external. I would still look forward towards to the previous day's low. But now that we took that sell side, I want to see maybe we can get a sustainable push to the upside. I feel bad for anyone trying to trade NQ today. And especially if you lose and you get into that vicious circle of taking more trades and blah blah blah. That could really end bad for some people, for some traders today. Since 10 a.m. all we did is, the displacement right here. But afterwards, just consolidate mainly. So like yesterday, 9:30 opened up, we had a trend, 9:30 consolidated. And then, for that entire hour, we will see. Don't get excited, it's not worth it. That's why it's sometimes good to remove yourself from the charts once you're in the trade. We have buy side above here, and it's still this balanced price range right here. Been respected so far. Balanced price range because we have a bullish fair value gap here. We closed below it, and now we have a bearish fair value gap right here. We tested it 1, 2, 3 times. And now for a 4th time, rejecting once again. So this really played a crucial role today. ICT is probably coming up with a new name for it soon. Well, I don't know. The Friday fair value gap. What happened? Did you end up taking more trades than you should have? Look at that, how well that has been respected. And how we're just bouncing between the two. Yeah, it's just madness. I still believe that my initial higher time frame draw on liquidity, being the previous day's low, will be correct. I'm still gonna stick around for me to get stopped out. And that if I get stopped out, that's gonna be the end for the stream and the end for the trading week for me. The DXY is pushing back up. Yeah, no trades on euro for me today. Yeah, this is when the accounts are blown. You go long, you go short, you go long, you go short. Yeah, after this chop, there will be a great move. It's either going to be to the up or downside. Fingers crossed for the upside. But I do not think that's going to be the case, really, guys. It was worth a try for the model. We live and we learn. Well, there's not much to learn. We stick to the plan. We had the setup at the low of the day with a nice displacement, a new hourly candle, and we filled this entire 1 minute bullish fair value gap. This, by the way, is a bearish one, and now we broke below it for the first time. We kept holding, open up with a bullish volume imbalance, but I think that's gonna conclude it. No, doesn't want to let me off the hook. And come on. Gotta take my dog for a walk. What's the time now? Didn't plan on streaming for so long. Also didn't plan on staying in this trade for so long. But you never know. Pushed up, displaced already to the downside. Take a look at NQ here. No. Took a look, and that's gonna be enough. DXY is pushing back up. Come on. Bearish volume imbalance. Is that gonna be enough for me to get stopped at the low? Can already hear that I'm not really keen on watching this trade go up and down, but I think it's about time. And nope. It's gonna, yep, there we go. All right, guys, thanks very much for joining. And yeah, I will be back next week. That's gonna be it for this week. Take care and enjoy the rest of your week and the weekend, of course. Take care. Man, finally.